Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. The Young and the Restless, Wednesday, May 15. Ashley's alters plot Tucker disaster. Audra and Sally swap advice. The Young and the Restless, Y&R, spoilers for Wednesday, May 15, reveal that Ashley Abbott's Eileen Davidson alters may end up reaching a compromise. Belle feels like finding new love is the best path forward for Ashley, but she may be frustrated when Alan Laurent, Christopher Cousins, rejects her kiss. Ms. Abbott believes eliminating Tucker McCall, Trevor Street John, is the only real solution when it comes to protecting Ashley, so she may persuade Belle to finally work together on this. Perhaps Ms. Abbott will argue that Tucker is influencing Alan's view of Ashley and making her look crazy. Ms. Abbott might contend that once Tucker's out of the way, Belle will have a much easier time pulling Alan closer. Whatever the case, Ashley's alters will do some scheming on Wednesday's Y&R episode. It sounds like Belle and Ms. Abbott will settle on a new plot that'll end in disaster for Tucker if they get their way. Over with Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, she'll be stuck waiting in a suite while Tucker comes to Devon Hamilton Winters, Brighton James, rescue. Tucker will step up for Devon when it matters most and take a bold stand with him against Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson. With Tucker's help and a new plan, Devon will count on blocking Jill Abbott's, Jess Walton, attempt to give Billy so much power. In fact, Devon will want Billy out of the company completely and will be willing to play dirty to make that happen. Once Tucker proves his loyalty to Devon, that should help them take a huge step forward in mending their relationship. Audra will be eager to kick off her trip with Tucker, but she'll get a visit from Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, while he's busy. Sally and Audra will wind up swapping advice, so let's talk about their latest problems. Although Audra is trying to have faith in Tucker and their love for each other, she may feel like hurdles keep getting in the way. Sally may push Audra to go with her instincts and get some guidance to do the same when it comes to her career. Since Sally has faced so many issues with her interior design firm, she'll wonder when it's time to call it quits. Sally will give Audra updates on the situation and hint about returning to fashion, so Audra may think she needs to go with her gut and make a prediction about it all working out. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Sally will hope for some positive career news soon, so stay tuned to see if her fashion reboot with Flo Mitchell, Elizabeth Hendrickson, will pay off. On the warm Wednesday morning of May 15th, Genoa City woke to the stirrings of a day that promised both chaos and revelation. In the lavish Abbott mansion, Ashley Abbott stood by the window, the soft morning light casting a golden hue on her thoughtful face. Her mind raced with a plan so intricate, it danced on the edge of madness. Her alter egos, Alicia the cunning businesswoman, and Leela, the carefree spirit, had been conspiring within her, shaping a plot that could either save or destroy everything she held dear. As Ashley sipped her coffee, her thoughts were interrupted by the arrival of Jack Abbott, his expression a mix of concern and curiosity. "Ashley," he began cautiously, "I know you've been through a lot lately. Are you sure you want to go through with this?" Ashley turned to face her brother, her eyes gleaming with determination. "Jack, this is the only way. Tucker McCall has been a thorn in our side for too long. It's time we take control of the situation before he ruins everything we've built." Meanwhile, across town at Newman Media, Audra Charles and Sally Spectra found themselves in an unexpected tete-a-tete. The bustling office was a hive of activity, but the two women had carved out a moment to share their thoughts in a quiet corner. Sally, with her fiery red hair and bold fashion sense, exuded confidence, while Audra, poised and polished, radiated a cool, calculating energy. "You know, Sally," Audra began, her tone laced with a hint of mischief, "I've always admired your ability to navigate these corporate waters with such flair. But dealing with Adam and Nick is a different beast altogether." Sally chuckled, her eyes sparkling with amusement. "Trust me, Audra, I've had my fair share of run-ins with those two. He is to stay one step ahead, always anticipate their next move. and never ever let them see you sweat. Audra nodded thoughtfully, absorbing the advice. You're right. I've been so focused on playing it safe, maybe it's time I shake things up a bit. Back at the Abbott mansion, Ashley's plan was beginning to take shape. She had summoned her alter egos, and now Alicia and Leela were in full control. Alicia, with her sharp intellect and strategic mind, had devised a scheme that would lure Tucker into a trap, using his own weaknesses against him. Leela, on the other hand, would provide the charm and distraction necessary to ensure the plan's success. As the clock ticked closer to noon, Tucker McCall arrived at the Grand Phoenix for a meeting he believed would solidify his latest business conquest. Little did he know, he was walking into a carefully laid snare. Alicia, disguised as Ashley, greeted him with a warm smile and an air of professionalism that put him at ease. "Tucker, it's good to see you," she purred, extending a hand. "I believe we have much to discuss." Tucker, ever the suave businessman, took her hand and kissed it lightly. "Ashley, always a pleasure. I'm eager to hear your proposal." The two settled into a private conference room, and Alicia began outlining a deal so enticing, Tucker could hardly contain his excitement. But as the conversation progressed, subtle hints of the trap began to emerge. Tucker, distracted by Alicia's charm and the promise of untold riches, failed to notice the growing web around High. Meanwhile, at Newman Media, Sally and Audra's conversation had taken a more personal turn. "So tell me, Audra," Sally said, leaning in conspiratorially, "what's really going on with you and Nate? I've seen the way you look at each other." Audra's cheeks flushed slightly, but she maintained her composure. "Nate and it's complicated. He's been a great mentor, but there's something more there. I just don't know if I'm ready to take that step." Sally smiled knowingly. "Sometimes you have to take a leap of faith. Trust me, the heart knows what it wants, even if the mind is still catching up." Back at the Grand Phoenix, Tucker was beginning to feel the pressure. Alicia's questions were becoming more pointed, her demeanor more assertive. He glanced around the room, suddenly aware of how isolated they were. Panic began to set in as he realized he might be in over his head. At that moment, Leela, disguised as a hotel staff member, entered the room with a tray of refreshments. She moved gracefully, her carefree attitude a stark contrast to the tension in the room. "I thought you two might need a little break," she said with a bright smile, setting the tray on the table. Tucker's eyes followed her as she left, a nagging suspicion growing in the back of his mind. He turned back to Alicia, his expression now wary. "What is this, Ashley? What are you really after?" Alicia leaned forward, her eyes locking onto his with a steely resolve. "This is your reckoning, Tucker. You've manipulated and schemed your way through life, but it's time you face the consequences. The deal is off." Tucker's face paled and he stood abruptly, knocking his chair over in his.